How's it going? My name's Dylan. I'm here with my 94 shitbox Miata, changing the wheel studs on a nice and rainy Florida Thursday afternoon. It's the middle of spring and it's been raining every day and it pretty much sucks. So I wanted to make this video to show you guys how to change your wheel studs on your Miata, because I plan to track this thing and the studs that they came with aren't the greatest, nor are they the longest. So I figured I'd, invest in some new wheel studs and lug nuts. Probably get some fatter tires on there, give it better handling. So I'll just show you. I've already done one side of the rear. They're pretty nice. They're brand new. It's not the most difficult task in the world. It's just time consuming and dirty. That's pretty much it. So the tools you're gonna need for this job, pretty simple. You're gonna need a BFH, a chisel to use the BFH on, some pliers, a breaker bar, and some assorted 14-inch ratchets and such and sockets. You're gonna want to get some big fucking nuts too. That's to actually pull the studs in, and a 10mm wrench, an impact gun with a 17mm on it, and some grease. And of course the the studs themselves, which make sure to get the 7720s because they are different than the front studs, because the rear studs are bigger. So yeah, let's get this started. All right, so now that we're at the left rear hub, we can see, the old studs. They're a lot shorter, a lot shittier. We got our caliper, our rotor, our brake duct, pretty standard stock stuff. On the back of the caliper, on the bottom here, there's a cap that goes on this 10mm bolt here. You're just gonna want to loosen that first. All right, so like I said, just loosen this 10mm. I about broke my hand just trying to get it loosened, because this caliper has probably never been off this car, and it has 231 miles on it. But typical shitbox Miata things, right? So this was quite a bitch to get out, but as you can see, it's out now. So you want to set that on its head like this, like so, right? So next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bring it up. Make sure your parking brake's disengaged, by the way. You want to slide it up like so, get the caliper up, and then slide it off the top shaft like this, being pretty careful not to fuck anything up, right? And then you can pretty much do whatever you want with this. I usually set it on the control arm, just out of the way, and a brake pad fell out. Just get these out of the way, put them on the floor, and you'll be good to go. As you can see, I'm dirty as shit already. So now that the caliper's off, you go behind the hub here, the rotor, and you're gonna want to loosen this 14mm and this one right here. They might be pretty tough, so you might have to use the breaker bar, but yeah, we'll get it. All right, let's see if we can loosen these bitches. All right, so get up here, put it on. Got it. All right, they were pretty tight, but we got it. All right, so do the other one. Much tighter. Got it. Whew. All right. So then take your 14mm wrench and just get those bitches off there. All right. They should be. All you got to do is just break them loose, and you can pretty much finger loosen them out, except for this one apparently. Let's see. Yep. Here it comes. So Got the bottom one. And just loosen this one out. I really hope it doesn't start pouring again. That was not fun. My dad yelled at me for getting his power tool wet. Don't want to do that. Don't want to upset your dad. Anyway, once you get both of these bolts off, take off the back of the caliper here. Just put it on the ground. And once you got that, you can actually take off your rotor. Mine's quite rusty, you know, stock rotor, probably. And here's where it gets fun. So on a stock 94 Miata, they come with these brake ducts on the rear, right? And to get these studs out, you pretty much use a BFG and you hammer it the fuck out. The problem with that is that the brake duct right here blocks it. So what you're gonna want to do is, you know, take your BFG and take one of these. The name of it escapes me right now. And you just want to bend this back so you can get the studs out one by one. All right, let's see how badly I can fuck this up. So right here, and just hammer away. That hopefully should be pretty good. That's what it looks like after you've hammered it. I don't know if I need to do it anymore, but we'll see. But now, here comes the fun part. You gotta take your big fucking hammer, yeah, and you gotta make sure you're hitting the stud where it's open right here, and you gotta hammer out your studs. It's not fun. All right, let's see if I can hurt myself. Yep, I was afraid of that. There we go. See if we can maybe wiggle it out here. Rotate it on the flat side. You see these studs, they're not perfectly round. You want to rotate it on the flat side so you can get it out. But there's one out. Let's see if we can get all of them. This is a stubborn one. All right. Got it. There it comes. We're on a roll here. Let's see. All right, there you go. All right, one more. All right, so that one's loose. Not out yet. Boom. So now that we've managed to get our studs out without fucking anything up, we need to open up our new studs and get our 17mm lug nut and some big ass nuts. All right, now that we have our new studs and all of our old studs are out, you want to rotate your hub so that the hole you want to put your stud in is near the flat side of your brake duct, and you want to just, calmly slide it in. But, an important thing is, like I mentioned before, is that these are not perfectly round. They have a flat side. Make sure the flat side is facing the brake duct. And what you want to do, you cannot press these in, with brute strength. I would be very impressed if you could. But what you want to do is you want to make sure these are straight and try and just press them in so they'll stay a little bit. You probably can't, but you want to take these big ass nuts, as I mentioned before, and you want to put them on one by one, right? And it's kind of hard to do it with one hand, but so then you want to take this lug nut and you want to tighten it so that it's pulling the lug, or the stud, I mean. It's pulling the stud so that it's straight. It's straight. You do not want to pull this stud when it's angled, because you will not. That will not be a good time at all. But yeah, let me put the camera down. So you want to tighten your lug nut so that it's pulling the stud straight on with the flat side again facing this. Then you want to take your 17mm impact gun and you want to just tighten the shit out of it. So I don't know if you can see this, but just make sure you're going the right direction. Put on there and then just hammer away. You might want to hold the hub too. So you want to inspect. It's almost fully bottomed out. Just give it a nice little bit more. All right, that's good. You want to loosen it. There you go. It's probably really hot. Not that bad. Take off your bolts. So that does it for one stud, and pretty much that's all you really need to do. See how it's completely on the hub now? It's all the way through. So that's what you want to do. Then you just want to rotate and do it again, rotate and do it again, rotate and do it again, and pretty much just assemble backwards or disassemble backwards. You know what I mean. Alright, now that you have all your 4 studs in, you just want to go back here with some pliers. I've already rebent it a little bit, but you just want to work on bending it back into place. And after that, pretty much just put everything back together and you're done with the rears. One thing I forgot to mention is that when you're doing this, you're probably going to get some metal flaking on... come on, focus. There you go. See that metal flaking? Yeah, you don't want that on there. So you just want to take a paper towel and wipe it clean and re-grease it. Also, that goes the same for this thing. This thing has almost no grease on it right now. So it definitely needs some grease. But yeah, that's an important step. Don't forget that. Some time has passed since I did the rears. I went and got lunch and I got my hair cut. At the beginning of the video, I probably had, a mossy hair or whatever. But yeah, I got a haircut. Since then, I have done the first front. I actually have my new tires on there as well. As you can see, it looks pretty good, and they fit really well, and they don't rub. So yeah, I'm going to teach you how to do the fronts now as well. Alright, so the fronts are like barely different than the rears. The only thing being is that the front caliper is a little bit different. Instead of a 10mm at the bottom, you have a 14mm at the top here. you want to loosen this and swing it down instead of up like in the rear. And you want to swing it down, slide it off, put it on your control arm there. And then it's just the same where you need to loosen these 14 millimeters both down in there, get the hanger off, get the rotor off, and it's actually a lot easier to bang these studs out on the fronts. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, I don't know if you could tell during that time lapse, but I was struggling very much to get this fucking caliper off, and the reason is because that fucking shaft right there is rusted and it was locked, and I had to break it loose over and over just to get it. So rest it on the control arm, and like I said, you got to get these two 14 millimeters off, and then it's smooth sailing from there, hopefully. Alright, so that took way too fucking long. Those were like rusted stuck, so that took a lot of effort, but it's off now, so just get the rotor off. Come on. There he goes. There you go. Oh, thank you, Father. So then you're just going to want to take your hammer and bang these suckers out. Alright, let's see how long I can go without fucking things up. So, grab your BFH, start hammering away. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. Alright, now that you got your studs in, you're ready to rock and roll. I will tell you that in case you come into this problem, which you probably will because you're working on a shitty 30-year-old small-ass sports car, this shaft was completely rusted out. And so what you want to do when you come into this problem, make sure to just sand that down and re-grease it. Make sure to sand it so it's nice and smooth. But other than that, you know, disassemble backwards and, you know, put your wheels on and you're ready to go. And just like that, I got all four corners of the car done, finished, brand new studs. They look great. Got the aluminum lug nuts as well. Gonna put some fat boys on here. Car's gonna handle like a dream. Yeah, not too hard of a job, but quite dirty. And if you have some rusted out calipers, which, you know, if you're buying a 94 Miata, you probably do. Yeah, you're gonna run into that and it's gonna cause you some heartache. But got through it, got it done. I kind of wanted to just make this video as sort of like a starter video of like the transformation of this car, because I'm gonna do all kinds of shit to it. I've already replaced the shifter in it. I got a new shift knob for it. I did all the fluids. I wish I would have did a video on how to do all the fluids in the car. I think that might have been kind of a cool video. Yeah. I forgot to mention, I got the aluminum lug nuts and the studs, both from 5X Racing. Shout out to them. I think in total it cost me about $120, maybe less. But honestly, for that price, they're great. I will probably never have to replace these studs, hopefully. But yeah, expect more videos on this car, maybe some other cars, maybe some racing focused videos on that race car right there. I got all kinds of cars, as some of you who know me may know. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and if you watched, thanks for watching. If you didn't, I don't fucking know. But yeah, have a good one.